This news update is brought to you by
This is a 7 a.m. Barbados Today update for Tuesday, August 19th, 2014. Good morning, I'm Carol Williams. He is now $5 million richer after locking down the Warren's office complex and displacing scores of civil servants for close to 3 hours yesterday morning. Government has paid contractor Barrack a portion of the $75 million owed for the building. Meantime, Housing Minister Dennis Kelman is warning other citizens who are owed by the government against going a similar route. He cautions the outcome may very well be different. Authorities are fighting to cope with an influx of cases at the Employment Rights Tribunal. Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Bayasuku tells Barbados Today they've received in excess of 70 cases, including the matter involving retrenched workers at the National Housing Corporation. She says they've now dealt with teething problems by increasing the number of workers, and she's confident the tribunal will hit the ground running when it begins hearings in a matter of weeks.
It's only when you actually start to get up and running, you realize, no, we need something else here, something else there. So we are actually doing some adding to what we had, the resources that we had allocated for them, so that they could go ahead. One of the things, for example, is that it was anticipated that staff from within the Labour Department would be able to service the tribunal. But the demands of the tribunal, now that they've started receiving letters and complaints, the demands are such that we've realized that there's nobody in the department that can carry that responsibility as well as their other duties as well. So we had to add somebody else for that. In fact, we actually are looking at 3 persons to be totally dedicated to the tribunal.
The government is moving to introduce video identification parades in court matters. It's also seeking to abolish preliminary inquiries. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite tells Barbados Today that the changes are part of proposed amendments to the Evidence Act, which goes before the House of Assembly in 2 months' time.
This system would allow us to capture images so that rather than you having to come, we can have 10, 15 people looking like you, and have the individual try to leaf through and identify the individual who they suspect or who they allege may have committed the crime. So, as I said, come October, I'm very confident that we're going to have the amendments to the Evidence Act. We've been talking about the abolition of preliminary inquiries. Come October, we should also have that in place so that hopefully that will contribute towards the speeding up of matters.
To sports now, defending champions Combermere goes into day 2 of the Barbados Cricket Association Under 15 3-day competition with a 53-run lead over Queen's College in the finals, which began at Kensington Oval yesterday. The Waterford boys, who won the toss and elected to bat, posted 153 for 9 from the allotted 35 overs. In response, the boys from Husband St. James were only able to tally 105 for 9 to give Combermere first innings honours. Combermere captain Shakay Marshall top scored with 45 from 58 balls, while off-spinner Deshaun Mears took 4 wickets for 23 runs from 6 overs for Queen's College.
This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
To original neighbors, sweeping changes are in line for the prison service in Trinidad and Tobago. From October, prison officers will be given bullet and stab-proof vests, firearm licenses, and emergency housing in instances where their lives are at risk. In addition, a new remand facility is to be constructed and officers will benefit from yearly training courses. The recommendations were made by a special commission investigating the state of prisons after an officer was killed in November last year. Internationally, West African nations affected by the deadly Ebola have been urged to screen all people at international airports, seaports, and major land crossings to stop the virus from spreading. The World Health Organization says authorities should stop anyone with signs of the virus. The warning comes days after the WHO warned that the magnitude of the outbreak is vastly underestimated. At the same time, it's stressing that the risk of getting infected with the virus on an aircraft is small and there's no need for wider travel or trade restrictions. And that brings us to the end of our 7 a.m. Barbados Today update. We'll be back again at noon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or better yet, like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you for the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Have a wonderful day.
This news update is brought to you by